You're listening to Cinematic Adventures, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Road, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Vices? We don't need no vices. I don't have to show you any stinking vices.
You make me want to be a better man.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
He's looking at you, kid.
Not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cinematic Adventures. We're here in the Misfit Faction Network studios. Happy to have you here, and as always, I'm one of your hosts, Sean, and with me is Paul. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, Sean. How are you?
I'm great. So real quick, before I forget, if you're listening to us on the go, you can catch us on our home network on Podbean. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere you can get your podcasts. And we got a special show here, Paul.
I guess.
Wow.
I mean,
way to take the energy out of the room.
Yeah. Woo!
So, Paul, when you came to me that day 2.5 years ago and said, hey, you want to do a podcast about movies, did you ever think we'd make it to 100 episodes?
Probably not. Solid. Maybe like 10. Maybe, I don't know.
And that's Paul for you folks.
How many episodes of Laces Out were there?
You just keep harping on that. I will not take the blame for that.
I know. But yes, no, I'm excited. 100 episodes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's just our main topical, main episodes, not including our crossovers or our bigger ones. Yeah, 100 episodes, 4,000 downloads, just about. Wow. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate. Listen, we don't think we are up there in terms of the greatest podcast to listen to, but we just want to have fun.
We're just trying our best.
We're trying our best. We want to have fun. We hope you enjoy what you're listening to, and that's all we care about.
Hi, Brendan.
Thank you, Brendan. We really do appreciate it. We really do.
So what are we doing for this episode, Sean?
So this was a tough decision, Paul. It took me a long couple weeks to really come up with this idea until I walked
showed up with nothing.
Still showed up while you guys were talking about Black Panther, and I was like, what are we talking about, Paul? And you were like, now that you say that, Sean,
you got 20 minutes.
You got 20 minutes. Come up with an idea. And I was like, okay. So 100th episode, let's do a top 100 list. But I'm gonna stop short here, people. We're not gonna talk about 100 movies. What we're going to do is we're going to go over what we feel, I think, is a respectable list. It is the IMDb, that's the Internet Movie Database. It's like the number one website you go to find information about a movie. It is their top 100 movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to start from 100, work our way down to 1. We're going to go in increments of 10. We're going to list the 10 movies, and me and Paul will pick out 1, 2, maybe 3 of that group and be like, oh, that is definitely deserving to be on this list. Little information about it if we have anything, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or any special memories.
Special memories and all that fun stuff. So we want to get going. We're going to do a little quick break. What do we got? There's really no news, surprisingly. This
is the weird time in movies where we're past the big. I mean, the only thing we got Black Panther really coming out.
Yeah, you guys just recorded your episode about kind of like the anticipation for Wakanda Forever. We'll see where that goes. That comes out. We are recording now on a Sunday. That comes out this coming Friday. Yeah. So definitely look out for Multiverse Wakanda Forever episode probably within the next week and a half.
So what we'll do? We'll do the first 50, then we'll take a quick break.
Sounds about right.
No, that sounds about right.
All right.
So, do you want me to do the first 10?
You can start with the first 10. Absolutely,
all right, so
sir.
This is 100 to 90. All right. So we have at number 100, Yankee Doodle Dandy. Sean was singing this song before. It just made me mad.
Why? It's so patriotic.
But it's such an
You're not patriotic if you don't like Yankee Doodle Dandy.
How dare you, sir? I have a flag on my shirt right now.
That's true. I was about to say it says respect on your shirt.
No,
I was like, oh wait, there it is.
Because I respect my country. North by Northwest. Rebel Without a Cause. This is 98, by the way, in case you guys stopped counting like I did. 97 is The Third Man. 96 is Rear Window. Number 95 is Taxi Driver. Number 94 is Wuthering Heights. Number 93, The Maltese Falcon. Number 92, Double Indemnity. Number 91 is The Great Dictator. And then do I do 90?
No,
also?
you do. You stop at 91.
Okay,
that's
all right.
10.
I was right.
Because you're counting 100.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So right off the bat, I'm going to say we got 2 Alfred Hitchcock movies in that grouping. We have North by Northwest and Rear Window, 2 fantastic movies. Rear Window is one of my favorite movies of all time. James Stewart, Grace Kelly. So I'm definitely liking this list so far. Unlike our 100 greatest movie characters, where
Man,
I think
you were so
99 I
mad.
was already mad.
So mad.
Any of these stand out to you?
Taxi Driver. I love Taxi Driver. It still holds up. It's still something that's very relevant, and people still talk about it. People still quote it. The whole "you
it's
talking to me."
one of the most quotable scenes of all time in movie history, I feel.
Oh,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Any guy who wants to stand in front of a mirror and just does that, it's
Oh, that's not normal.
no, it is. It's normal. I'm not.
Just picture. I also the Maltese Falcon of all things. I think that's another one that I really
think
do
that's
enjoy.
that's definitely considered one of the better film noirs, of the early days, and obviously Bogart is Bogart.
I know. Imagine naming your kid Humphrey nowadays. That poor kid.
I think bring it back.
You to bring back Humphrey?
No, I say you bring it back.
No, thank you.
Humphrey Maglietta.
Ugh. Oh, gross.
We just call him Humper.
Wow, why? Probably. All right, now we're going into our 90s, all right? Number 90, Mutiny on the Bounty. Number 89, Stagecoach. Number 88, The African Queen. 87, I thought this one would be higher, Good Will Hunting. 86, Terms of Endearment. 85, Pulp Fiction. 84, American Graffiti. 83, The Graduate. Wow, these are some solid movies. I haven't read this list beforehand, so this is fun for me too. 82 is Network, and 81 is Nashville. I am really surprised that some of these are so like Good Will Hunting. I'm kind of surprised it's so high on the.
I'm impressed Good Will Hunting's even made the list.
Really,
It's a very good movie, but in the top 100, it's 87. I think that's fair. It's fair. If it wasn't on the list, I wouldn't have been upset. That's definitely so far the most recent movie on the list, 1997, which is 25 years ago. I mean, it sounds recent, but it really isn't. And it's also the movie that gave us Matt and Ben. And obviously won the Robin Williams Academy Award, finally. The one that stands out to me is American Graffiti. To me, is the forgotten George Lucas movie. Because, I mean, when you say George Lucas, immediately, obviously, you think Star Wars. But American Graffiti is just such a snapshot in, the 50s time of 50s and 60s. I think it's early 60s. I apologize if it's not time in California.
1962.
1962. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm surprised Pulp Fiction's so high, but I think Pulp Fiction, any Quentin Tarantino movie is on a list because it's Quentin Tarantino.
I'll lay odds that this is the only Quentin Tarantino movie on this list.
All right.
I think consensus says that Pulp Fiction is probably
his best.
I don't know if it's his best. It might be his most loved.
That's
movie.
fair. Yeah, I like Reservoir Dogs.
I like Reservoir Dogs. I mean, I will stand by. I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think that's his best movie so far. And in my opinion, that's his best movie.
I just like Brad Pitt. I say Nazis in
Inglourious Basterds.
Killing Nazis.
Killing Nazis.
The Graduate.
I mean, talk about a movie that is just the music, Simon Garfunkel. The storyline of, sleeping with an older woman and how it destroys, a family.
Well, he starts dating her daughter.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying.
He did this to himself.
I agree.
Yeah, she might have taken advantage at first, but he did not make it a good idea either. All right, we're going down?
Oh, Stagecoach, sorry. Classic Western. John Ford, John Wayne was probably John Wayne's breakout role that started his career off in the right direction. So just wanted to give a little shout out to that one.
That is a good one. Number 80, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I love that movie.
First Spielberg movie on the list.
79, The Green. 78, The Grapes of Wrath. 77, Shane. 76, Giant. 75, Fargo. 74, Annie Hall. Figured that one would be a little bit higher. 73, Rain Man. 72, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and 71, Midnight Cowboy.
Fun fact, Midnight Cowboy, first X-rated movie to win Best Picture of the Year.
I love it. I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
Saw it in film class back in college.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies that you watch once in your life and you really never need to see it again.
Like Plan 9 from Outer Space.
No, I can watch Plan 9 from Outer Space multiple times.
Like The Room.
You keep harping on The Room.
It's so bad.
I know. But
it's atrocious. I hope it's on this list somewhere. I'm going to start at the top, though. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I love that movie.
That is a great movie. I think that's also forgotten gem in Spielberg. When you say Spielberg, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List,
E.T.
Jaws, E.T., Close Encounters. I mean, that was his second movie.
And it's funny because it is a movie where they don't really actually interact with the aliens until the very
end. And the aliens are good.
Yeah.
It's not War of the Worlds. But it's just, again, it's a very good look at what happens to a family, when someone is so, stuck on something they believe.
All right.
Who just breaks up a family.
Who'd win in a fight?
There we go.
The aliens from E.T. or the aliens from Close Encounters of the Third Kind? It's a tough one. Yeah. E.T.'s got superpowers.
Yeah.
Do you think we just don't have enough knowledge about the other aliens?
Probably.
Yeah. Because, E.T.'s from Star Wars also. Did you know that?
No.
In, I think it's Phantom Menace, when they do a panning shot of the Senate, there's a pod with 3 ETs on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I love
That's
it.
funny, actually. I never noticed that.
Yep.
Look at that.
And then they point out that like ET sees the kid dressed as Yoda and chases after him.
Yes, I remember that because ET came out in 82, so Empire was 2 years old. Okay.
Yeah, so I guarantee we're going to find ET on this list.
Oh, definitely.
The Green Mile.
Green Mile.
I like that one.
Yep. Green Mile and Shawshank are always, the top 2 movies made out of Stephen King's works because they're non-horror.
Yeah.
And they were both very well done. I think made by the same director, if I believe, Frank Darabont.
We're gonna find out. I'm sure Shawshank's on here somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Annie Hall, for me, I think, is just one of the classic comedies of all time. If you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sorry, which I am. Obviously, Annie Hall beat out Star Wars when it won Best Picture of the Year. But Diane Keaton, Best Actress, Annie Hall, Best Picture, Woody Allen, Best Director. Just overall fantastic movie.
Nobody talks about Woody Allen no more.
I'll talk about Woody Allen.
He got canceled.
Not by me.
Okay, that's fair. Rain Man. Another movie that's super quotable, super especially at the time. Like, remember they did the episode of Boy Meets World where he's playing cards with the teachers?
Yeah.
And
they
what is this,
spoof it in The Hangover.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so good in The Hangover.
With the escalator scene.
It's one of those other movies. Like, I love Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, Dustin Hoffman is one of the greatest actors of all time.
I feel like in real life he's probably a dick, though.
There have been rumors that he's not the easiest person to get along with, I guess, on set.
Yeah.
Because he's very serious. But it's funny to me, like, watching... And as people know who've listened to our podcast, Hook is one of our favorite movies. And Dustin Hoffman, of course, plays Captain Hook. I watched that movie, and I just can't imagine he's not having fun playing that character.
Right.
Because he's so over the top.
Well, even like Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. I mean,
I don't know. I could just see it. Like, I don't think he is, but I could see him.
Oh, no, I agree with you. I can see it, but I hope not.
I hope not also. All right, ready for our 70s?
Yes, sir.
All right, at number 70, A Place in the Sun. 69, It Happened One Night. 68, City Lights. 67, The French Connection. 66, Bonnie and Clyde, the 67 version. 65, All Quiet on the Western Front.
The 1930 version, not the new version that's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Number 64, The Deer Hunter. Number 63, Goodfellas. Number 62, The Pianist. I really wish that was number 69. And number 61, The Exorcist.
Wow. Okay. That's a solid group of movies. It Happened One Night, number 69. I hate you.
I know.
the originator of the screwball comedy that, won the top 5 Academy Awards the year it came out, Best Picture, Director, Actor, Actress, and Screenplay. Clark Gable, Claudette Colbert, outstanding, hysterically funny movie. Highly recommend to anyone who's never seen it. How about you?
For me, I'm going to start with Goodfellas.
I'm actually shocked it's in the 60s.
Yeah. I mean, I love Goodfellas. It's still like Joe Pesci just kills it in that movie. You think I'm funny? How? Like that whole scene is just like, and now there's memes of that scene. Like it's a good template for what's his name, Ray Liotta.
Yeah,
he's another actor that I feel like Hollywood just didn't know what to do with.
It's a shame. Yeah, he was a very good actor. Anything he was in, he was always giving it his all.
Not gonna lie, and you can judge me for this. First Ray Liotta movie I saw,
Heartbreakers.
Yes. That was the first time I ever saw Ray Liotta. He's one of those actors,
I
though.
love that movie, though. That's a fun movie.
That movie has its moments. And I think one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when Jason Lee goes up to Jennifer Love Hewitt when she first walks in. And she goes on a tirade about how he's only going to talk to her because of her looks. And he's like, that's the only reason why you want to buy me a drink. He's like, no, because I'm the bartender. And that was like one of his first movie roles, too. I think maybe like right
it was after
Mallrats.
It was after this Kevin Smith movie. It was the first movie where he kind of played a normal character.
Yeah.
He was not Brody.
Yeah, and he's another actor who I really hope they find more vehicles for, because after My Name is Earl, he just kind of...
I don't know if he wants to do much, or I don't know.
He was a skateboarder. Like, that was his thing. Like, he was a professional skateboarder before he came out.
But I want to give a shout out to The Deer Hunter. I mean, just one of the most powerful movies you'll ever see. De Niro, Christopher Walken,
John Cazale,
I think it was the last movie. Meryl Streep in one of her first real starring roles. The Pianist. I watched that movie once.
It's one of the
outstanding movie.
It is a tough movie to watch.
It is. I think it's even tougher to watch than Schindler's List. And that's saying something. But Adrian Brody wins the best actor of that year for that movie. Very good movie. And we got to mention The Exorcist.
Oh, absolutely. I will always talk about The Exorcist.
Exorcist is one of those movies when you watch it and you can't understand how it did not win Best Picture. Very similar to Goodfellas. Mm-hmm. But Exorcist did not win Best Picture. I truly believe that the Academy was just didn't want to go down that road.
Well, they probably couldn't finish it. They were scared.
Probably.
But The Exorcist, I will argue that The Exorcist set the template for the modern horror possession type movies,
I
the
believe
modern supernatural movie.
What they were able to do in that movie with the practical effects is unbelievable.
Wild. And then you hear all the urban legends from that.
The urban legends. You see what they did. I mean, I don't believe they were doing it maliciously, but just what they did to Linda Blair, like how it messed her up, like her back.
Oh yeah, from
when doing these spasms of like being possessed, like they were pulling her down, pulling her up. It was like, I mean, it destroyed her.
Yeah, I think she went on record a few times like how bad her back was after that.
Didn't she get hooked on? I think she got hooked on drugs
I don't know,
through
because
trying to rehab that. Or
she was on.
I read that.
She was on Supernatural for an episode.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm assuming she's doing okay.
I mean, she obviously it made her career, but it also killed her career. I mean, she kind of became a cameo.
Very typecasted.
Yeah, you know.
And I think she did like one or two other Exorcist movies, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then she really didn't do much else, which is unfortunate because like for such a young kid to have that much talent, like also like that movie is hard to watch. And
it's very. I mean, it's tough.
It's still like it still holds up.
Yeah.
I'll argue.
And then you and me actually got to see the area where they filmed it.
Yep, and the stairs and all that.
And we couldn't really see the house because the house had fencing around, which I totally understand. But it's very similar to the Amityville house. You know, that kind of like, you know.
Oof, that is a house you couldn't pay me to go into.
Well, they fixed it. I think they've totally redone it where it doesn't even look like the house anymore.
Good.
That.
All right, we're in the 60s now.
60s.
All right, number 60, Jurassic Park. Number 59, Dances with Wolves. 58, Braveheart. 57, High Noon. 56, Platoon. 55, The Apartment. 54, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. 53, The Treasure of Sierra Madre. Number 52, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And 51, Patton. Now we're getting a little bit closer to the 90s and the more modern era, I would say. Jurassic Park is still the best of the entire franchise.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's wild. And I don't remember who pointed this out, but somebody recently pointed out that it's crazy that the effects of Jurassic Park from 1993 are sometimes better than the effects that they have in the Jurassic World series now.
I agree, because in Jurassic World, I feel like it's all CGI. In Jurassic
CGI.
Park, it was CGI, but there was still the practical. Like, they built the T-Rex. The T-Rex was there on set.
It malfunctioned quite a lot.
It malfunctioned because, you know, with the rain and stuff, they didn't account for, like, you know, how it would react in the rain.
And waterlog.
But the great Stan Winston built those dinosaurs. I mean, it's I don't know if you watched the documentary on Disney Plus about the creation of ILM and where that movie was gonna go with the dinosaurs before they realized that they could do it with computer generated images. It would have been a totally different movie. I mean,
absolutely.
Oh, it just would have been. I don't know what I really. There's that's something I would have loved to have seen. How would have loved to.
Oh God, I can only imagine. It would. I think CGI would have taken years then to get back into the public eye.
Well, it would. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, if they just deemed that we're not there yet, and they would Spielberg have delayed the movie? Would he have still gone on with the practical, with the stop motion animation? I don't know.
The only scene that the CGI versus puppetry transition really gets me is the one with the Brachiosaurus when it sneezes.
Oh,
because that's when it's a very sharp contrast from the CGI to the practical puppet. Because that was another thing. They had the puppet, but I think that movie benefited by having the bigger dinosaurs that didn't interact with people as CGI, and then doing puppets for the more interactive parts.
Gotcha.
But Dances with Wolves, another movie the
one that beat out Goodfellas for Best Picture of the Year.
I watched it as a kid, but
Dances with Wolves it's one of those just epics. It's an epic movie. It's the Academy likes epic movies.
Right.
They like big budget, all these types of films. And I mean, you watch Dances with Wolves, it's a fantastic movie. I mean, it deserved what the awards it won. You can say Goodfellas is a better movie, and you know what? It probably is a better movie, but that's just, I hate to say it, that's just the Academy's usually goes towards those. We did our Academy Award episode. We kind of really went over the BS of the Academy and what it does and what it doesn't do. It contradicts itself a hell of a lot of times.
I just don't want to get slapped when I go.
But the one movie I want to talk about in this grouping is Platoon. Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
I love Oliver Stone. Like, he's nut job now, and he hasn't made a movie in probably 15 years. I think World Trade Center was his last really theatrical release. But Platoon is the first movie, I think, that really showed the American audience what really happened over in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And like, people were blown away by that movie, and just because the same year you had Top Gun come out, and we love Top Gun. Top Gun's a great movie.
It's probably on
but
here.
Top Gun is clearly the pro-war aspect, and Platoon is no.
This is what
we
really
don't want to
happens.
be here. We don't believe why we're here. We're dying. And when is this war going to end? And just the brutality of that war. On both sides. I'm not defending one side or the other.
Speaking of brutality, Braveheart's on this list. I love Braveheart.
Braveheart's a great movie. That's an epic. It's another one.
Another one. And
It's
just
very much like Dances with Wolves.
And the ending is just iconic. Super iconic. It's graphic.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name.
Classic.
The standoff, one of the best scenes with that music. And then Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, I like the movie. I like the first half of the movie, and then it loses me in the second half. I think the opening 45 minutes of that movie is fantastic when they're being chased by the posse, and it's just the two of them, trying to figure out their plan. I can watch that anytime. After that, I just lose interest.
It's because you're a posse magnet.
A posse magnet?
You're a posse magnet.
Posse magnet.
And
Thank
with
you.
that, we actually get to take a break.
We do. Alrighty.
Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit Faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while, maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting set as a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction.
Well, Sean's hosting, and he totally forgot that he was hosting for a second, so I'll do the intro.
Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh. And
We're back.
It's terrible. And you know what's even better? There's going to be no lull in the actual episode because I'm not going to take out. I guess I'm going to take out the gaps.
That's true.
Yeah.
So there we go. Problem solved.
Just so I really wish we did video for that because literally Sean was just looking at his phone, just going through the list still.
And I'm just like, why is he talking? Why is he talking?
But he didn't look up to tell me, why aren't you talking? Anyway, so now we're going back now we're 50 and down, so we're halfway done.
Halfway done.
All right, number 50, Jaws. Number 49, The Searchers. Number 48, Dr. Zhivago. Number 47, A Clockwork Orange. Number 46, My Fair Lady. The Rain in Spain. 45 is The Best Years of Our Lives. 44, An American in Paris. 43, To Kill a Mockingbird. 42, The Philadelphia Story. And 41, A Streetcar Named Desire.
Stella!
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to start first. Clockwork Orange. Terrifying movie. I love that movie. It's so good. And just, there's so much iconic imagery from it. And just, I love Malcolm McDowell.
He
really
is fantastic, Malcolm McDowell.
And then he's such a great actor. And then he'll do,
We'll do Mr. Magoo or Franklin and Bash. I mean,
he was great on Franklin.
He was
and Bash.
great on Franklin and Bash.
We loved him on Franklin and Bash. I always get him confused with Terrence Stamp.
They're similar.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah, they kind of look alike now, especially with the white hair and the British accent.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I know you want to talk about Jaws.
I actually was going to go to The Searchers over
I'll
Jaws,
go for The Searchers.
but I'll start with The Searchers. In my opinion, the best, even though he didn't win, he wasn't even nominated for it, the best John Wayne performance in movie history was The Searchers. I think it's the best overall Western film made.
I would have loved to hear his acceptance speech. Well, thank you for the vote.
He won for True Grit. He does sound like that.
He does sound like that.
It's definitely The Searchers is up there as one of my favorite movies of all time. Jaws, what else can we say about Jaws? It's just the first blockbuster, I guess you could say the first summer blockbuster in movie history, right before Star Wars. And it's still one of the, I don't know if it's one of the scariest movies ever made. There's still some very good jump scares in that movie that hold up.
Well, I think I mentioned during one of our episodes that
it was the Halloween episode.
Yeah,
and
the scene with the
head
body.
in the boat.
Yeah. Oh, still gets me.
But My Fair Lady, I find to be overrated as a movie.
Yeah.
I love the music, and the movie itself just doesn't do it for me.
It's a trope we've now seen a lot. The taking the person who doesn't fit into culture and making them culture, but then they teach everybody a lesson about not being. All right, thank you. And I think they even make fun of it a little bit, or they make mention of it in what's it called, The Kingsman, the first Kingsman movie.
Yeah,
because he's like, I'm gonna make you, and he's like, oh, like My Fair Lady. He's like, all right, fair surprise. And there's a great line about, you got to teach me to talk good, like in My Fair Lady. And he says something along the lines of, like, it doesn't matter how you talk. It's really about the person you are.
Yeah, true.
But To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
So good.
Such a fantastic movie. I still, to this day, thank my parents. Because I was not a big reader when I was a kid.
Right.
They showed me the movie before we started reading it in high school.
Oh, smart.
So by showing me the movie, I got a sense, obviously, of what was coming, and it was much easier for me to read the book. And obviously loved the movie, so I was very excited to read it. And it's one of those movie adaptations. There's not a lot different in the movie that there was in the book. There are some changes, but it's definitely, one of the best books made into a movie. Gregory Peck, one of the greatest performances ever as Atticus Finch.
Side tangent. I hated the movie adaptation of Mice and Men with Gary Sinise and...
I wasn't a fan of that one either. And John Malkovich.
Yeah, the only thing that bothered me was so let's establish they did not handle special needs very well in that book, because it's a product of its times, and also it's a product of the time period that it's presented in, where Lenny is, he's mentally challenged, and he, they show it. But there's a character, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a character named Lenny in Looney Tunes, and he was like this big, like, abominable snowman, and he kept wanting to catch the rabbits. And he was based off Lenny, and like he talked with a very
slow.
Yeah. So like in my mind, that's what I heard as a kid. But the one scene at the very end of the book where he contemplates shooting Lenny, and it's like a 5-page scene where he's like, do I do? And like it shows the inner tone. In the movie, he just stands up, blows him away, like nothing happened. I was like, where's all the buildup? I was 14 at the time. I was like, where's all the buildup and anticipation? So
Did they show us the movie in high school?
I watched the movie in high school. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know we read the book freshman year
of Mice and Men. Yeah.
Mice and Men. And
I did both Mice and Men and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did too. Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the 40s.
The 40s.
Number 40, Rocky. 39, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. 38, Unforgiven. Let's see. 37, Saving Private Ryan. 36, From Here to Eternity. 35, Titanic. 34, Gladiator. 33, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
You got to give the movie its props.
I do not. 32, Amadeus. 31, Apocalypse Now.
Alrighty, we're getting down there.
This is
we're
a solid 10.
Solid 10. Obviously, we've talked about Raiders of the Lost Ark, numerous times. One of our first episodes. Fantastic movie, so really not going to get on that. Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan, for me, that first 30 minutes is one of the most unforgettable openings to a movie you will ever see in your lifetime. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It is brutal. You've never seen anything like that before with the interpretation that Spielberg did of D-Day. It was just unexpected. I was not allowed to see the movie when it first came out.
Neither was I.
So I would, if that movie was released at theaters again somehow, I would actually go and watch it.
Nice
just to
too.
see it on a big screen with the sound. It would be hard to watch, but it would be awesome to see. But I'll be honest, after that scene, the movie doesn't do it for me.
Really?
The whole story of them, it kind of loses it for me. I just think that opening scene was so amazing that it just couldn't live up to what that was.
To the rest of the movie.
But it's still excellent movie, and I was so happy when Spielberg won Best Director for that. But we got to throw some. I have to. Titanic.
I do enjoy Titanic.
I enjoy Titanic. I saw the movie 3 times when I was a kid. They stretched Titanic out. Everybody tried to do something Titanic when this movie came out. There were the old Titanic movies. They would write books about characters on the Titanic. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like it was just shoved down our throats. The Titanic, and obviously the song was everywhere.
The song, the image of the handprint on the window.
It was just crazy how that movie took off.
Two VHS tapes.
Yeah, that's right.
Intermission at the movie.
Intermission.
I saw that with my mom and my sister. There was a certain scene that I was very upset that I saw with my mom and my sister. But I will never say Titanic's a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's I'm the king of the world type stuff. Like, it just, the rest of the world got so obsessed with it that, yeah, it's like you said, things got thrust.
But it's crazy how you read the backstory of that movie. Everybody thought that movie was going to be a box office disaster.
Oh, yeah.
They thought it was going to be like, I can't remember what the budget was for that movie, but it was excessive. And nobody expected that movie to do what it did.
34, Gladiator.
I
love Gladiator.
Just unbelievable movie.
They're still talking about a sequel to it. I was like, please don't.
Stop. Nah, it's too late.
Yeah,
I could have lived with one in 2010. You could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
And it's been 20 years. I'm sorry. I love Russell Crowe as an actor, but
Well, not only that, he would also have to get back into shape, and
he's dead.
I thought
Character.
you meant Russell Crowe. I was like, no.
Not Russell Crowe, the actor, but the character. So, like, how would you do?
No, they revitalized him. They got the defibrillator out.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, there was like rumors that it would be like him in the afterlife. Like, no, we had our Sandals and Sword epic. Leave it at that.
Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
Yes.
Very good movie.
Very good movie.
I want to throw some love to Amadeus. Amadeus is another one of those movies you watch it once, maybe twice in your lifetime. Fantastic movie, and just to have the music, Mozart and the Salieri's music playing, it actually is very good.
Chef's kiss. Do you want to talk about Lord of the Rings?
Listen, I've stated my opinion on Lord of the Rings. I can't hate it as a movie. It's outstanding what he accomplished. Peter Jackson accomplished with that trilogy. I will not defend The Hobbit. I'm sorry.
That whole franchise.
I think that was such a money grab. On whether it was Peter Jackson's idea or New Line's idea, I don't know. I'm not going to put the blame on that, but I thought that was ridiculous that they stretched one book into 3 movies.
The shortest book.
But
I hear the show's pretty good.
I haven't really been following.
Neither have I.
But I will give love to Lord of the Rings. It deserved, it deserved to finally win one. It won it on the third one. He won Best Director. You got to give it to him.
That movie should have ended 7
I
times.
honestly have not watched that movie since I saw it in theaters.
Neither have I.
I watched the second. The second one is the one that I actually liked.
Which is ironic because usually that's the opposite consensus.
Yeah.
3 for Return, or what was it? 3 for Fellowship, 2 for Return.
4 for Return.
2 for Towers.
2 for Towers,
Yeah.
4 for Return.
5 for Return. I still haven't watched that movie yet, Clerks.
Yeah, how do we...
You can buy it. That's about it. $20 on Amazon, I think. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I digress. Number 30, Ben-Hur. Number 29, Some Like It Hot. Number 28, Doctor Strangelove. I love that one. 27, It's a Wonderful Life. 26, Singing in the Rain. 25, The Bridge on the River Kwai. Number 24, Chinatown. 23, Silence of the Lambs. 22, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And 21, 2001, A Space Odyssey. You were going to argue that one, aren't you?
No. That's not what I'm arguing. That's a solid 10 right there. I don't know which ones to pick out to talk about.
Well, I'll just say, for Some Like It Hot, Marilyn Monroe, she was such an icon and such a movie icon. And
one of the greatest ending lines to a movie of all time.
And what was it?
So it's where Jack Lemmon they're escaping the mob, and Jack Lemmon is going to marry the guy, Joey Ross. And he turns to him and he goes, I can't get married. And he goes, why not? He goes, I cannot have children. It's like, we'll adopt some. I'm not a natural blonde. I don't care. And he goes, you don't understand. I'm a man. And he goes, well, nobody's perfect. It's literally one of the greatest ending lines to a movie of all time, and one of the funniest movies. It was actually voted AFI's #1 comedy of all time, which is funny when you think about it, because it's not like
it's not Hot Tub Time.
It's not not many things are Hot Tub Time Machine, but definitely agree Something Like a Hot deserves to be up there.
Doctor Strangelove is a classic.
Gentlemen,
there's no fighting in here. This is the War Room. Still, so super quotable, super great.
And then obviously Slim Pickens riding down on the bomb is that scene is in movie history. You can't not see that.
I mean, I love Singing in the Rain though.
I do love Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain's really good.
Ben-Hur.
I don't have much of a say.
See, I grew up. My grandmother loved Ben-Hur, so like we would watch that movie all the time. And the chariot race, you couldn't. How they were able to do that? Build that stadium, actually film that race live.
Crazy
with the stuntmen. I mean, unbelievable, epic that movie was. So amazing.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
We saw that in theaters.
We did.
That was really good.
The Turner Classic Movie re-releases. Fantastic movie. Chinatown, just one of the great film noirs. Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway. Bridge on the River Kwai, it's not my go-to, but it's a very good movie.
E.T. Love
E.T. It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, Christmas movie. Actually, I'm kind of surprised it's up that high.
Yeah, it's one of those now more iconic movies.
It's
a Christmas staple too.
Clarence.
I was never a big 2001: A Space Odyssey fan.
Me neither.
But I still get why it's so influential.
It's beautifully shot.
All right, into the 20s, we're getting there. Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. West Side Story at 19, 12 Angry Men at 18, The Sound of Music at 17, 16 is Forrest Gump, 15 Sunset Boulevard, 14 On the Waterfront, 13 The Godfather Part 2, which does insist upon itself, and number 12 Psycho, number 11 is Vertigo. Great list.
I am psyched. You know why I'm psyched? Why? Because Imdb agrees with me.
Okay.
That Godfather is a better movie than Godfather Part 2.
Did you just spoil whatever?
No. Oh, come on. You think Godfather Part 2 is on there, but Godfather's not.
It's possible. I don't know.
I will bet you.
All right, you can bet me, but I was afraid you went through the whole list. And
Bet you $10.
I don't want to take a bet. I'm just like you.
I am excited.
Okay, so Star Wars. I'm just glad Star Wars made the list.
Hey, Star Wars, it had to have made the list. If Star Wars New Hope was not on the list, I would have been very upset.
I will not say it's my favorite of the series, but I still get why the first one would make the top 20.
West Side Story.
Classic. Still classic.
I think West Side Story and Sound of Music for me are 1A of the greatest movie musicals ever made.
I'll give you that one. I would always watch West Side Story first because I like the music better.
Oh, music is, the Sound of Music, it's Rodgers and Hammerstein. It's very, family oriented. It's not,
So long, farewell, Avita, say goodnight.
You ever see 12 Angry Men?
Yes.
Oh, so good. So good. I love that movie.
Yep, that's why American Justice
Saw that on
takes so long.
Broadway. Saw that on Broadway.
I saw the movie. I didn't see the show.
Yeah, no, I got to see that live on Broadway. That was fun.
Forrest Gump's. Oh, really? I forget you're not a big Forrest Gump fan.
I like it, but I think it's a little overrated of a movie. That's just me. But it's fantastic how they pulled that movie off, though.
Oh, yeah.
Great, but I think it's a little high for my taste.
A little high for your taste? All right, that's fine.
On the waterfront. I could have been Contender.
That's a good
Could have
one.
been somebody.
Psycho. We've talked about Psycho, but it is still one of my favorite thrillers.
It's to me, it's my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie of all time.
That's fair.
At number 11, Vertigo. It's funny. Vertigo is highly regarded to be the greatest Hitchcock movie ever. I just don't understand why. Like, I watch it. It's beautifully shot, but the Jimmy Stewart character is just so unlikable in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's obsessed. It's too much. It just doesn't do it for me.
That's fine.
Yeah. Here we are. We're at the top 10, buddy.
Top 10. All right. Number 10, Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Number 8, The Wizard of Oz. Number 7, Gone with the Wind. Number 6, Citizen Kane. I'm surprised Citizen Kane is not top 3. Number 5, Casablanca. Number 4, Raging Bull. Number 3, Schindler's List. Number 2, The Shawshank Redemption. And number 1, The Godfather.
Boom, baby.
No, boom, baby. That's The Emperor's New
See,
Groove.
I'm actually, in most lists I've ever seen, Citizen Kane is usually like number 1, number 2.
I've only seen it once.
Really?
Yeah, so fun fact from the fanny pack. Citizen Kane was ruined for me by Ghostbusters. The real Ghostbusters.
It's a sled.
So, well, yeah, Family Guy too. But the real Ghostbusters did an episode where they chased the ghost of Kane. And it's all he wanted was his sled. And he goes off into the afterlife with his sled, Rosebud. So when we see the movie, we watched it in senior year or junior year, and I was like, in class, and I was like, it's the sled. It's his sled, everyone. That's what he wants. The symbol of childhood innocence. His sled. Saved you 3 hours.
Saved you 3 boobless hours.
Yeah. It's a great movie, though. Don't get me wrong. And obviously, Orson Welles.
It's by far the greatest film by a first-time director.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? That's your career? You start there?
It pretty much was his career.
Yeah.
Like, he never was able to top that movie.
No, you can't.
Now, he also was very difficult to work with, and, his studio would interfere a lot with his stuff, but...
Nothing new. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, probably Jack Nicholson's greatest performance ever.
Nurse Ratched.
Yeah, who just sadly passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, shame.
Wizard of Oz. I mean, who doesn't love the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, you have to be, again, another one that's so different than the actual source material.
Oh, absolutely.
Very different. And obviously, it still has a cultural impact. The first Technicolor film.
Mm-hmm.
You got Wicked that's still out. The music's still iconic. Somewhere Over the Rainbow is still like a go-to for a lot of performers.
And there's always still the
Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
No, the
You got this. I'm just gonna keep
the
talking.
storylines that came out about the movie, like the Munchkin who hanged himself.
Yeah, it's really just a bird. Now you can see it in the high def. But yeah, there was a rumor that in the background, right after they get attacked by the witch
in the woods,
and they start singing and going again, that there's
something in the background and it looks like someone kind of is hanging upside down.
It's
or
the old
one of the
old footage.
actors.
Yeah, but now it's actually just a large bird because they got a lot of exotic animals. But yeah, Gone with the Wind, first movie to feature a curse word. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
You're right.
It's still such a great line.
Casablanca.
I love Casablanca.
That's another one of the greatest ending lines to a movie. Louis, I think this is going to be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I always liked Frank, for your thoughts. In America, they're only worth a penny. I like that was just such a great movie and just so iconic.
Schindler's List.
That's another heart. Shawshank.
And then number 1, The Godfather. I've always stated I think Godfather 1 is better than Godfather 2. I'm not giving any negative thoughts to Godfather Part 2. Godfather Part 2 is a fantastic movie, but just as a whole, I think The Godfather is a much better movie. I think Brando is the difference. I truly believe that.
Oh, I completely agree.
You know, Robert De Niro does a fantastic job in Godfather Part 2, but I just think Brando is the difference in the first Godfather. It's just unbelievable.
I think the second one just insists upon itself.
Well, it was the first one that's this one stuff, remember?
No, it was the second one.
No.
He said it's the second one.
No, he just says, I have not seen The Godfather.
I thought it was the second one. We're going to have to figure this out. But anyway.
This is going to be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 argument all over again, man.
I know. We're going to figure I'm just going to pull it up on YouTube after this.
There you go.
Do you want to do Fan Feedback Friday?
We can do Fan Feedback
It's
Friday.
short. For our 100th episode, what are some topics or movies that we should discuss? We have Sean get angry at a top 100 list.
I did not get angry at this list.
I know. And then best cult films. Those were our 2 suggestions. But our friend Brendan did text us like a ton of ideas. So we want to thank Brendan for taking the time out. But I just don't have my phone readily available right now. But
well, that was fun.
That
It was good. And again, we thank to all our listeners out there. You know, we've been able to do 100 of these episodes. It's been fun. I mean, again, this is something we just enjoy to do. You know, we're not in it for, money purposes. We would like to at some point maybe do that.
It's all for funsies.
It's all for funsies, and we have a good time. We like to hear from you guys on Fan Feedback Friday. If any, Brendan loves to text us any ideas he has, and we love listening. And and hopefully we got 100 more of these in our back pocket. As Paul looks at me like, I don't want to do this much.
Can we get
longer.
a portable studio, please?
It's like I hate having you guys over all the time.
It's not even that. Just scheduling sucks. But if you guys are looking for more of our content, make sure you go to our website, themisfitfaction.com. You can also find us on all social media, which includes TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just type in Cinematic Adventures or type in the Misfit Faction Media Network, and odds are you'll find some of our stuff. We're always posting, we're always reviewing, we're always doing all sorts of things. So make sure you guys check that out. Get your Misfit swag. Represent. I have a Cinematic Adventures t-shirt.
I gotta buy one.
I know. I have an MF Uncensored.
Maybe you can get me one for Christmas.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about making a new t-shirt just for you.
Just for me?
I still want to make the sports t-shirt. My sports shirt. Or just sports.
Just sports.
Sports.
All right, man. As always, I am Sean.
And I'm Paul.
And everybody out there, have a splendid day.
Or not. We're not your dad.
That's true.
Bye.